I think this thing is on. I think. If you're seeing this, this is my first live stream, so it's going to take a little bit of coordination. Let's see. Hey, Hector, so we must be live. That's awesome. Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me? I'm not actually watching the stream. If you can see, I just got the live chat up there. Give me a thumbs up or a smiley face, something if you can hear me. I'm seeing some yeses, echoing. Perfect. We're going to let some folks hop in here. I don't have the super chat functionality that you see in some of the other. There's a slight echo, little reverb. Well, I don't know. Some people are saying loud and clear. Some people are saying echoey. Let's roll with it. This is the first Willie Howe live stream all by myself, so we'll go with this. I'd like to welcome you. Thank you to everybody for pushing us over 10,000. On Tuesday, I will announce the winners of the USG and the Unify Switch 8 150 watt. It's like the audio is doubling up. Sounds like I have two mics on. Let's see. Is that better? Turn down my volume. Can you still hear me now? Can you hear me now? No. All right, hold on. Can you hear me now? Or are you guys just messing with me? All right, somebody let me know if you can hear me. Yes, but the same. We never lost you. Yes, still the robot. Okay, so I'll get that figured out. So sorry for the audio quality. I'll figure that out. So we'll get to that. Sorry about that. So what we're going to talk about on this live stream, and feel free to ask questions. I don't have the super chat where you can pay me, but in the description of this live stream, there is a PayPal link. So if you donate something via PayPal, let me know. I'll look at it, and you can send a question or whatever you want to do. I just wanted to experiment with this live stream and get some things out there. So what you can see here is you have I have my cloud key. Right here we've got the Ubiquiti device discovery tool. Over here is the live chat where you are all chiming in right now. So what we're going to talk about is a couple of different ways that you can set informs, and the way that I set them and the way that I like to set them for customers. So here's our cloud key, 5.4.16. So we're going to log in here. Well, that's no good. Okay, so here we go. So if you look at our devices, right now all we have is a USG. But if I bring up my discovery tool, I've got a Unify AP AC in wall, and it is the IP is 66.238, and it is in a pending state, so it is not adopted yet. So what we're going to do is we are going to set the inform on this, and we're going to set this over to 192.168.66.5, which is the IP of our cloud key. Now, this is not normally how I would do this, but I'm setting this up to show you something else in a minute. So we'll go ahead and execute this, and we'll refresh. And it's not showing up. Let's see. Cannot connect. Hold on a second. So 66.238. So let's SSH into this guy then. Okay, so we're SSH in. Why the device discovery tool couldn't do its job, I don't know. So we'll do an info. And this is going to show us the model, version, the MAC address, IP address, host name, uptime, and then right here where it says status, this is where our inform would be. So first, let's make sure that we can ping. So there's a problem. That's interesting that I can't ping the cloud key. So this access point was in a sound and picture is quite bad. You have bandwidth problems. No, I don't normally have bandwidth problems. So Steve Hughes, the discovery tool has been failing me lately too. SSH only. Maybe it's based on a browser update or new firmware. I just plugged that in wall into one of the new 60-watt 8 ports, and I have had some issues where when I was plugged into that I couldn't get to the rest of the network. So what I'm doing is I switched it to my 8-port 150 watts. So we'll see what happens here in just a minute. Let me see. Big sound echoes. Some people are saying they have a little echo. Some are saying they have more echo. I didn't quite expect this many people to be on here. Let's see if we can tweak this echo real quick. A little bit of inception going on here. How is the echo now? Is the echo better? Let me know what you're seeing on the echo. Still there. Some people are saying still there. Some people are saying it's better. Some people are saying it's the same. Interesting. So I will get better at this. So this is my first live stream by myself. So yeah, I'll have to talk to Chris and see what he ran into. I would say I would just go live and figure it out, but if I go live, crazy train, I'm going out the rails on a crazy train. You don't want to hear me sing. So yeah, two mics, I thought I had it. Sorry guys. Okay, so back to the meat and potatoes of this live stream. Now look at this. So all I did was I took my in-wall and I moved it from my 60-watt switch to my 150 watt switch, and the problem cleared up. The funny thing is I have an HD plugged into that 60 watt and the cloud key. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. It could be some spanning tree stuff, but it shouldn't be, but it could be, so we'll have to figure that out. How many people are on the live stream so far? I didn't expect this many people to hop on, so thank you for everybody for showing up. All right, so what we've got over here on our cloud key, 5.4.16. Now, my network is set up so that when the machines get an IP address and the DNS server that I have, they normally point to my regular controller, which is Unify. Now, this is my cloud key and is discoverable on the same layer 2 network. So that's why it's seen here. If we logged into my other controller, it would also be seen there. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit adopt. And we're going to go ahead and adopt this into the cloud key. So that is provisioning. It shouldn't take too long. It's on the same network. There's like 3 feet of cable between these two. So thanks everybody for the kind words. We're up to 70 people. That's pretty good for a Saturday, like spur of the moment live stream. Hello, Brooklyn. All right, so the end wall is now live, and we're just going to call this lab in wall. We'll go ahead and save that. But the next thing I want to do is I want to SSH into this. And we're going to do an info. Okay, and so now yeah, for those of you who are not in the U.S., it is if you're in another country, you're probably past midnight. So thanks for tuning in. It's probably Sunday somewhere. So what we're looking at now, we're SSH'd into the in wall, and I did an info, and you can see we're connected, but we're connected via this IP address, right? So what we want first, we want to make sure that we've got layer 3 connectivity to this cloud key. So we're going to ping cloudkey.howx5.com. Beautiful. It's returning ICMP echoes. That's exactly what we want to see. So we can hit that guy by name. Perfect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into settings on the controller, and we're going to go over to controller. And you can see on this tab, I have my controller name is cloudkey.howx5.com, and then I have controller hostname IP as cloudkey.howx5.com. So what I'm going to do now, because I like to use the fully qualified domain name, the FQDN, and the reason that I like to do that is because IP address has changed, but that FQDN should always stay the same. So if you're, and I'm actually getting ready to work with a company. We just fired up a droplet for them over at DigitalOcean. We are migrating from AWS to DigitalOcean, and it's going to be really easy because I'm going to back this up. I'm going to grab the key store off the controller. We are going to put it on the DigitalOcean controller, and we're going to change that DNS record out at their DNS server, and within 10 minutes everything should be pointing to the new controller. So that's the theory. So let's take a look at that a little bit more. So right here we are in that in wall that we just adopted, and you can see it's connected, and it is connected at 192.168.66.5. Now I've never done this live, so this could go totally south and not work, and then I'm just going to sit here and answer questions for a half hour. So, or we'll try to figure it out. But what I want to do is I want to override the inform host, let me cancel that, with the controller hostname IP. So here's the controller hostname IP. I don't recommend using an IP. I always recommend using the fully qualified domain name if you can get away with it. So we're going to go ahead and check this. You're going to get this informational box that says, are you sure you want to override the device Inform host with the controller hostname IP? If the controller hostname IP is not configured correctly, your devices will become disconnected. I'm going to confirm that, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit Apply Changes. We'll go over to our devices. It says the controller changes have been successfully applied. And if we do an info here, now on the in wall, you can see where before when we did it, it said connected http://192.168.66.5:8080/inform. Well, guess what? We made that change, and look at what our inform is now. It is our fully qualified domain name. So what does that mean? That means that this IP address can change to anything, and as long as this access point or the other unified devices that are connected to this can resolve that and get to that address, I can move this controller wherever I want. So that's one way to do it. And I like the layer 3, and I work with a lot of controllers where there are subnets or even physical distances and subnets involved in this. So I am getting some somebody is Skyping me. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's Chris. Chris is Skyping me, and I will talk to him in a minute. I don't know if he's watching or not. So let's see. And I don't have anybody else chiming in there. So Chris, if you're watching this, I'll get back with you after the live stream. And so now our lab in wall is connected, and it is using our fully qualified domain name. So now I can move this controller, and it's super duper easy. So does anybody have any questions about that? Why we do that? I want to go ahead. Hey, Sean, nice to see you in here, bud. Also, Mitch, Matt, I recognize a lot of the names. Sean and I are working on a project together. Mitch has asked me to speak at a tech fest, so I'm going to see if I can arrange that. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for some questions. You saw what we did, and are there any questions? And if somebody can tell me how many people are on the live chat right now, that'd be awesome. Hi, Ontario, Canada. Hello, UK. Illinois is well represented here. 73 people. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Keith, for that. And this is, now there's 74. So now I want to go ahead and open this up for the next 20-25 minutes for questions. If there's anything you want to see in the controller, let me know. We're going to wrap it up pretty quick if you guys don't start asking questions. 75, beautiful. I don't know if you see the new blue background there. I'm going to be using this as an instructional tool. Can you go over setting up a FQDN on afraid.org? So, all right, Mitch, thanks for stopping in. Jerome, I do not have. I do have an Afraid account. If you go. Can you explain what kind of FQDN, like a top level, like one that you buy, or is this one that would be a free one? I guess while I'm waiting for some of the questions to roll in, totally off topic, but UFiber, do you know anything about it? Which part of UFiber? Are you talking about the GPON units and everything that came out? Can I ask how to install a... Sean, can you give me some clarification on which part of the UFiber? Are you talking about the modules? Are you talking about the pre-built cable? I don't have any hands-on experience. I know that it exists. I do not have that device. I know other people who have used it. They love it. It works great. I do see it in UNMS in the demo there, so I know that it's out in the wild. I know that it's working, and I know people love it. So, all right. Can I ask how to install a cert in Windows Install? So, Reginald, if you want to install an SSL certificate in the Windows Unify controller, it should work almost the same as doing it in Linux, because you should be able to, if all of your paths are set correctly in Windows, you should be able to execute Java from the command line. So it's just a difference in knowing the directories. I may do a video on that. I've got a book here where I keep all my current customer notes, information, things like that. I'm going to flip to the back where I keep my ideas, and we will talk about Windows Unify SSL cert. So I will do a video on that. Let's see. A bit off topic. Have you dealt with the beta Unify application server? If so, do you plan on reviewing a video? Yes, I have. I have a unit. I have it from the beta program that you've seen out there. I did get permission to do a video on that, so I just have to figure out which way I want to tackle it. They have an official Ubuntu, I think it's Ubuntu based distribution, and I have the ISO for that, but I have ESXi 6.5 loaded on mine, and I have a free PBX server. I have all kinds of servers in there that my upcoming videos are going to be dealing with. So yes, I will probably crack that guy open, but my hesitancy in doing that is that, you know, I got mine in the beta program, right? They're sold out now, but I don't know if that server is going to be the same when it goes, you know, to market or not, but I will put beta disclaimers all over it and say this is beta, this is what it is in beta. Yes, so I did get permission recently to do that, so that is on the list as well. Do you know of a way to set different DNS names for each WAN link on a USG Pro? I'm sorry, I do not. I have not dealt specifically with that. All right, let's see. Jerome, I'm trying to set up my cloud key to be used as a multi-site controller. So check out my video, Jerome, that talks about how to do dynamic DNS with Afraid, and follow that video. That's the first step that you need to do. Willie, you made a video where you show aggregation with APHD with 2 cables. Where you can see that is working good, like where I can see 2 gigabits go true. So if you are on Twitter and you follow Brandon, UBNT_Brandon, who is the product manager for Unify, he actually posted some screenshots of over 1 gigabit network traffic with the HD, and so you would need that. Also want to clarify a couple things. So in a traditional wireless connection, you know, me to an access point, that is not a full duplex communication. Whereas Ethernet, 1 gigabit Ethernet, you're actually, you can transmit and receive. So it's a full duplex communication, 1 gigabit each way. So then if you look at something like AirFiber from Ubiquiti, AirFiber is actually a full duplex solution. So it's not regular Wi-Fi. Let's see. What has been your experience and operational cost for AWS versus DigitalOcean? No matter what you do in the cloud, it is not cheap. Cloud providers like to tell you that the cloud is cheap and the cloud is great. The cloud makes people a lot of money, and I'm not against a guy making any money, so don't take it that way. Just my day-to-day, I don't put everything in the cloud. I'm not anti-cloud. You know, there are certain things that I think belong there. DNS filtering, great example. I got 1,000 pictures, you know, that aren't really sentimental, and they're just stuff, and I don't care if I lose them or if they get taken by someone. Great, put it in the cloud and don't take up that storage at home. I'll tell you, DigitalOcean is very upfront about their pricing and you know, their hardware. You know, they're of course they're not, you know, they're not the huge kid on the block that Amazon is, but DigitalOcean has a very solid offering. And I would say that at least 2 out of 3 times when I'm working with customers, we decide to go to DigitalOcean. Their tech support is very quick, very helpful, things like that. And the droplets, I think the droplets are easier to work with than the AWS instances. That's just my opinion. Okay. Do you do one-on-one or small group training on setting up Unify for beginners? Christopher Jones, please email me. I will put my email address. I will absolutely set something like that up. Let's see, which product of Ubiquiti are we discussing? Right now, I'll discuss anything I've got a knowledge base on. We talked about how to go into the controller and override. So we informed and connected our AP with an IP address, and we talked about fully qualified domain names, what the advantage of an FQDN is, why I use it, and then we made the controller change that allowed us to push that change automatically to all of our devices, and that is on the controller tab under controller settings. So it says controller name, controller host name, IP, and it's right there. You check this box and you apply, and then automatically all of your devices now have the new name. Okay, let's see here. Any word of UBNT 4K cameras? I have no knowledge of any Ubiquiti 4K cameras. Right now I'm still using the G3 bullets. I am hoping that they will release some new products soon, but you know, that's up to them. Let's see. Sean is clarifying that it's Ubuntu for us on the Unify application server. This is probably for another video, but I spent forever getting OpenVPN server to work on an Edge Router Pro. Yeah, if you don't have that down, it's just like anything else. It does take a little bit of practice. Which putty am I using? Let's see. One that I downloaded, release 0.66. So probably a newer version out. This one has worked. So I haven't been out to download this in quite a while. How can I access a Sonos speaker in a guest VLAN network with different subnets? So if it is, this is for Ariel, if it is in a, guest network, so if it's like actually tagged guest, like in Unify, and I don't know if that's what you're talking about or if this is hardwired in, but if it's wireless and it's in guest VLAN, you're going to have to give more information before I can give a competent answer on that. Dolores says, our company wants to set up a captive portal with analytics for marketing. Can you recommend how to do this? So there are some things. How many devices, how many users are you going to have? What kind of analytics do you need? You know, do you need more than what DPI can provide? Do you need to do custom DPI rules? So there's a little bit more, Dolores. You'd have to give us some more detail on that. All right, Dirk says, let's get back up to Dirk here. Could running the controller on a slow device affect AP performance? Could any lag in writing the telemetry to the controller slow down throughput? That is a good question, to which I don't know. I don't know. I've never studied that. So if anybody else has any experience with that, you know, if the controller being on, you know, because, I mean, if you're collecting statistics or you need to use captive portal, that's really the only 2 times the controller needs to be running. So when you say it like that, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. If anybody's got any experience with that, chime in the chat. Jerome, you can email me. I posted my email address, and we can talk about that, maybe help you with some troubleshooting. Let's see, Willie, I did set up my network with the controller installed on my computer. Now I want to use the iOS Unify app, but it says I need to reset the AP. Any way to avoid that? Don't know what you're trying to do, so if you give me some more information, that'd be awesome. Francis says, any experience putting a UniFi controller on a Raspberry Pi 3? Now, I love Raspberry Pis. I use them all the time for digital signage, use them all the time for security products. Surprisingly, though, I have not run a UniFi controller on one. When cloud keys are so inexpensive and the software runs on so many other platforms, that's just one that I haven't gotten into yet. Sean does some things. Sean and I have been experimenting with network management solutions on Raspberry Pi, so Sean may be able to speak to that. Let's see. David Knott says, have a guest network made to just isolate some IoT stuff. I cannot use dynamic DNS to access it locally from another outside network. Yes, hairpin NAT not working for guest. Works if not guest. I'm assuming that's on an edge router, and you're going to have to look at your rules. That's something else where we could take up a lot of time troubleshooting that. So if you want more in-depth troubleshooting, please email me. Please do a video on voice over IP. My voice over IP videos are coming along with my WISP videos and network design videos. Brian Newfield, I feel like I know that name. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Willie, any market for used Gen 1 APs, APLRs, AP Outdoor, or AP Outdoor 5Gs? I will tell you that if you put those on eBay, I've seen it recently. A friend of mine here locally cleaned up on eBay. Even with the new stuff being released, people are still buying that. It's just, it amazes me. Even with like Cisco gear, like this stuff is not supported or it's end of life, and people will pay almost market price for these things. It's eBay. I don't know if it's the auction fever or what, but I will tell you the AP Outdoor and the AP Outdoor 5Gs, those are still good devices, even though they're feature limited. They're not getting any more feature frozen. They're not getting any more new features. You could donate one to me too. I'd love to have a couple of those for videos. Let's see. Yeah, Low Family. There's a blog out there, the Low Family, and they that's kind of their wheelhouse, the Raspberry Pi with UniFi. I asked if you have a video on building your DNS server and which software you will recommend. There is a video where I talk about doing DNS, and if you'll have to go back, it's one of my videos. I think I did it in July of last year when I was on vacation. And I use Ubuntu Server and Bind, and then I throw Webmin on top of that because Webmin makes configuring Bind a breeze. So, and the new version of Webmin will blow your socks off. I need to do an updated video on that. Let's see. Adam Livingston says, have you ever thought about running a class start to finish on anything, setting up? Yes, Adam, I have. I've thought about that. I'm actually likely going to do the Ubiquiti Train the Trainer here at some point so that I can actually do certification classes. Let's see. How's the Net Tool been coming along? I use that thing all the time. I can't keep a charge in it. I communicate with those guys. I know they're working on a new revision of the hardware that's going to be a little bit more robust. I was their first affiliate, and I'm very happy that they chose me, to do that. I think the quality of my videos is, it's getting better and better all the time. But they were kind of my new format. But I love that device. Some people, they're kind of lukewarm about it, but I love that device. It gets new functions all the time with the firmware releases. And I've asked for some pen test stuff in there, maybe kind of greedily, but I've at least asked for some in-map functionality and things like that, and I know that is going to be on the docket. So, and I know version 2 of the hardware is going to be coming out, and hopefully they're going to choose me as like an alpha tester. Of course, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. It would be NDA, but we'll see what comes about. No problem, Francis. Thanks, Jerome. Let's see. How's my health these days? My wife is keeping me fat and happy. Actually, we just talked about today that I've got to get back on the wagon and exercising and watching what I eat. You know, so if you don't know what happened to me, I should listen to my wife, and I didn't. So I didn't go to the doctor. And you know, when you got a family, it took a near-death experience for me to realize how important my family is. They were important to me, but you know, it's even more important to me now. So I've made some changes, trying to work smarter, not harder, things like that, and really show my family that I appreciate them. But went in for a gallbladder removal. My gallbladder, I was in so much pain that I couldn't stand up. I was crying. My wife had to help me to the car, and kids, probably thought I was on fire. Went in, they did a gallbladder removal. What we didn't know is that the surgeon nicked my bile duct, and I got an abscess in my chest. I backed up with bile. I was almost septic, almost died. If it wasn't for a group of really phenomenal doctors who were not my original surgeon, I wouldn't be here. And my wife has kept me on track since then. So we're getting back now. I kind of like ate whatever I wanted. I gained 30 pounds. I don't know if you've noticed the double chin coming back in the videos, but gained about 30 pounds since I got out of the hospital back in September. So now it's time to get back on it, because the doctor tells me I got a fatty liver, so need to take care of that. So and I enjoy alcoholic beverages. Maybe once every 2 weeks I have a single beer, or maybe once a week. There for a while it was once a week on Saturdays with Security Saturday, which needs to come back, but working on that as well. Let's see here. So health is getting better all the time, so let's just put it that way. Sean says, Willie, after this next job, I may have some old Gen 1s for you. I won't deploy them, but maybe we'll take them out and trap shoot them, freeze them with some liquid nitrogen and stuff like that. Somebody says, Webmin seems like such a security risk unless it's not exposed to the web. Why would you expose... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, like, they say that common sense is in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. So, like, what's common sense for a doctor may not be common sense for me. So, I guess when I said that, Webmin, I assumed that you would not expose that to the outside world. So, yes, if you have Webmin running and you don't have a third-party, or you don't have an actual CA cert installed, do not expose that to the outside world. I wouldn't expose it to the outside world anyway. You can scan any server I work on. If it's running Webmin, that port is never open to the outside world. So, yeah, thanks to that. Udemy.com. Maybe I can talk Tim Bear into doing creating a custom portal on h5technology.com where you could pay for classes on there. There's been some things about Udemy lately. There's been some stolen content that's been showing up on there, and it's my understanding that they've just been kind of like la 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 and not really doing anything about it. And it is some expensive security training. I don't know if you know who Troy Hunt is, but apparently somebody's ripped that off and put that on there. So I'll be investigating that, but let's see. iFetcher says, hey Willie, how can I set up a parental control situation on Unify hardware? For example, only certain internet content or only internet on certain hours, but still access on printers within the network. So with Unify, that situation is going to be a little harder than with an edge router. Just because the firewall rules that we need to really fine-tune things are not exposed yet, and I don't do the JSON support file. If it could be done in config.properties, I would do that, but I don't support the JSON config file at this point. I'm sure there are plenty of people who do, and that's awesome, but if you've got somebody that's working on your stuff and they're doing a JSON config file, before you pay them, get the documentation in hand. So iFetcher, that's kind of on the fence on that. Francis P, I want to take this opportunity to let you know that I'm out going to get the UAP AP Pro because of your video. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, my affiliate link is only US, but find somebody over there and find somebody less fortunate than you and buy them a sandwich or do something nice, do something kind. Let's pay it forward. Adam Livingston, what's your drink of choice right now? Is Sam Adam fresh as Heelys, however. Hey, Sean, I appreciate everything that you do, chiming back and forth. We make a pretty good team, so have fun at the cookout. We'll see you later. Yep, Webmin is nice. Adam, I will let you know. So it is nice to know that people are interested in those classes. So that's something that I'm going to pass on to Tim Bear from tbear.com. Does all my web design. And then I consult with him on security for WordPress websites. So I am actually going to talk to him about that. Payment-based classes. And Adam, we could totally set something up via Skype. So feel free to email me if you've got an idea how big the class would be, how you would want to run the format. I would absolutely entertain that. Dolores says, so we have 5 cafes in different locations. We want to track the age, sex, etc. So with the captive portal at all locations, bringing data back to the central dashboard with the ability to control the APs remotely. I know that there are some things that you can track here. Let's take a look at the guest control. And we've got hotspot turned on, and let's do payments. And we'll do Stripe, and I have to put an API key in to get any of those. There is a certain set of information that is collected. You're going to have to check it out and see if what you are collecting already by default in Unify meets your criteria. If not, there are other hotspot solutions out there, but check out the Unify stuff first. You can kind of go through the setup. I've got some older videos that talk about how to set it up with Stripe, so you can do that. You know, there is also, not in this, you know, you might be able to do it too. You might be able to pass some of that off through customizing, but that's a good question. But yeah, get you a test API key, put it in here, and look at all the stuff that you can collect. I don't know if it's stored in the database or if it's stored at Stripe either. That's another question. So have done a few of the payment-based portals, and they've worked fine, but someone has not wanted to use specifically this kind of information that you've asked for. So, and Unify may or may not fit the bill. John, what do you use for your Wi-Fi site surveys? Have you ever used AirView? Yes, and in fact, I keep a couple of those logos because AirView is in there, and AirView is free. So AirView is an excellent tool. There's a lot of different design software out there, and there's one that they actually talk about in the Unify certification class, and the name is escaping me at the moment, but we also do walk-arounds. We take an AP, actually place it, you know, temporary setup, actually do some real in the field trials. So when we're doing AP deployment, it's not something that we're always guessing at. If we're doing it remotely, we are doing the site surveys through the Unify, and we are depending on other people to help us do that walk around. So, but if I'm there, if I'm coming to your location, you're actually going to see me, and I'm going to have equipment in hand, and I'm going to be testing it, and I'm not charging you $10,000 like a Cisco vendor. Let's see. Have I ever done any warehouse Unify AP deployments? In fact, one of my customers has a warehouse and has APs, and we are fine-tuning those right now, but they had a couple routers melt down, and I just upgraded their camera system this morning. So once they get their new Edge router in, we are going to be deploying to that. And let's see here. Let's see. Somebody send me a message. Okay. I installed an Edge Router X the other day. Noticed it seemed to perform better in switch mode. Yes. Steve Hughes, yes. The Edge Router X has an actual chip that handles the switching. When you do it in an Edge Router Lite, an Edge Router 5, or even, I believe, the Pro, there's no switch chip that handles that. That's all software driven. Francis P. Thoughts on using firewall rules to segregate subnets on Edge Router X versus using VLANs on a switch? Again, this is just for So if you are, so if each port is a subnet, that would work fine, Francis. If you're doing VLANs and you've got a switch plugged in, it's got to understand the VLAN. So whether you take a look at my IoT video that I just did, you can do that whether the network is actually attached to that physical interface or whether it is a VLAN. You just have to substitute your interface names. What do you use for monitoring usage, bandwidth, etc.? I use Unify or Cacti or UNMS at this point, which I am going to be doing a video on. Your Unify gateway can handle monitoring. Yeah, we have a monitor 24/7. Yeah, so if you haven't seen UNMS, let me get my two-factor authentication up here real quick. If you had $1,000 for an ESXi server, what would you get? For $1,000, I don't know if you're going to get anything that's on the HCL. You might, but I would look at the Super Micro line more than likely. I am become a huge fan of Super Micro. In fact, I do some work for some VMware employees, and they get a huge discount. Now, obviously, I can't get the discount, but they get a huge discount, or this guy at least did, from Super Micro, and he was running some of the new stuff. And man, if HP and Dell weren't paying attention to Super Micro before, they should be now. I'm going to get my two-factor authentication up here. And we're going to hop out of this. We're going to do unify.howx5. And we're going to open up UNMS. If you haven't seen this yet, people have been asking for a Unify type solution for the, hey Stephen, I will see you tonight, I believe. UNMS is kind of a, you know what, let me, before we get into this, I just saw something here. Yes, Sean, you're right. There is actually a Dell outlet online like Scratch Dent, and I was just looking at some R series. They have a warranty, but the server started at like $600. So Adam, check that out too. Do a Google search for Dell outlet. So what this is UNMS, and this is now public beta. So I had permission to be showing this off. And what this is people have been asking for a they've been asking for a Unify type solution. This is not really Unify. This is UNMS, and this is, you're going to be able to plug in your edge routers. So right now it does edge routers, edge points, it does the U-Fiber, so the GPON and all that, and it does the Air OS devices, and soon it will do the switches. There'll be some hooks for Unify. Now the current beta version that has been released to the public is .8. It does run in Docker. Now I have some customers on this, and I've swapped their routers out and things like this. I have 2 installations of this. This is the one that you are seeing. So right now, if we pull up this router, you're going to see a live IP, but this will track sites. This will track, you know, your devices. Now endpoints, this is if you're running the GPON stuff. It's got firmware manager built in where you can upgrade the devices. Reginald, go out to community.ubnt.com, sign up for the EdgeMax beta program, and under the management section, the management tools, they have all the information that you're going to need to install this. I am going to do a video on this, but you can see all of the devices that it currently can manage, and you can get, you know, up-down notifications, you can push firmware, you can do all kinds of things. So it's not as in-depth as Unify, but it is, this is likely, going to replace Libra NMS for me. I have asked for at least ICMP checking for hosts that are not Ubiquiti based. So what I'm hoping is that I can get Windows servers and other devices where we can at least throw ICMP requests at them and know that they're up, and if not, get a notification, because then we'll just use the built-in Windows tools to notify us if they're, if we're running out of hard drive space or whatever. So right now for Libra NMS, we monitor CPU usage, disk usage, memory usage, things like that. I could use the built-in Windows tools to do that and get notifications if I can just get ICMP on this. So yeah, that's right. It's out there. It is a public beta at this point. Go out and check it out. I am going to do I will do a video on it, and I think if you go to unms.ubnt.com, maybe they've got more information about it. So if you go out here, you can check it out. So it can run, I haven't tried to run it on the Cloud Key, but it's running on a server here that runs one of my UniFi controllers, that runs my UniFi voice over IP controller, runs my one of my UniFi controllers, and then if you've ever worked with me, I've got a secure portal software, where we transfer files and things like that. That is also here, and it's all running on here. But it is, you can use non-standard ports when you do the install. I'm really not doing this thing justice by talking about it. I really need to do a structured video so that you can see this. But it does run in Docker, and it's fantastic. I've got it running, and I've got one controller that has multiple edge routers, and I'm nothing but happy with this. So check it out. Okay. Let's see what else. So yeah, Adam, check those out. If you don't like the Dell, check out Supermicro. I believe it will be able to manage nano stations if they're running Air OS. All right. How many people do we have on live chat? Does anybody know? How many people are watching us? Created a guest network with guest policies in VLAN 10. Local network is 10.0.1.0/24. 78. 80. That's awesome. Thanks, everybody. Need to access the Sonos from 10.0.1.20 from iPhone. Yeah, so if you've got guest policies, Ariel, is that an edge router, or is that Ariel, is that edge router or UniFi? I'm sorry. While Ariel answers that, Kyle says, sorry to switch subjects, but any luck getting PIA on Edge OS and not having the connection tank? Open VPN alternative. So yeah, I've got a video later, a newer video where PIA works perfectly. So check that out. I will likely not be doing a PIA video on the USG, just because the firewall rules aren't where we need them yet. You could do it via PPTP, but I'm not really supporting PPTP anymore. I'm migrating people away from that. But yeah, no, we've got PIA running on Edge OS. Check out my video. Did it a couple months back. So on the USG, okay, Ariel. So speaking of firewall rules, so if we go to our networks, I'm sorry, not networks, routing and firewall, and we look at the firewall, you can see there's rules in here that I can't delete. None of these guest rules, I cannot manipulate any of these. All I can do is create new rules and place them to be processed before or after the existing rules. So I understand exactly why they did this. They did this because when you tag something as guest, it happens. There's no monkeying with the rules. There's no way. I mean, it's not bulletproof, but it's very close to being bulletproof, where when you say this is a guest network, that's it. You could likely manipulate these rules, Ariel, but it's going to take a lot of tinkering if it even works. So if you're running the guest policies, these things are pretty locked down. So you would just have to experiment with it. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying that off the top of my head, you know, a lot of these things I will hammer them out. I do them in a lab environment, and then I talk about them. So, but yes, these rules, unless you go in and you tinker behind these, are set up, and when you create your rules, there's a section on here that says rule applied before predefined rules or after predefined rules. So where does this rule exist? Because remember, firewalls are processing these rules in order. So 3001, 3002, 3003, that's how those get processed. All right. Will you do some voice over IP videos with VPN between sites? Yes, I am getting ready to unify voice over IP. I have the phone. I've got all my new servers and everything in my new rack. Got a UPS in, getting ready to get that hooked up, get everything going there. I love ESXi. You know, I do run VirtualBox on my Windows machine when I do virtualization here, but you can't beat a bare metal hypervisor, and I wouldn't consider Hyper-V on Windows to be a bare metal hypervisor. You got to have Windows, and it's Windows. So ESXi is a true bare metal hypervisor, and I love it. I am a VCP, so it's not just a VCP and me talking, but I run, you know, VMware live every day, and you know, they are doing things that Microsoft kind of does. But so are there any other questions? If there's not any other questions, I'm going to start wrapping it up here. You know, please give the live stream a thumbs up. I know we had some bumps in the road there that we had to work out at the beginning. As always, you can look at my videos, get those Amazon affiliate links, keep a few bucks rolling in, keep new gear coming in. Doesn't look like there's any new questions rolling in, so I think I'm going to start wrapping up the live chat. I want to thank everybody. Please give me a thumbs up. Please, hey Edward, you know, please subscribe. Please, you know, share my channel. Nuke said something here real quick before we wrapped up. Do you have any idea when Unify are going to move 5.5.x out of beta? I do not. I do not. I am not juiced into some of those things. I am in the beta program, but you know, there are things that employees don't, you know, they don't tell me, or maybe I just need to ask and I didn't ask. So that's something you could go out and ask at the community, and they would probably tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for joining me on the maiden voyage of a Willie Howe live stream. I'm going to try to say less next time, but give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please tell everybody to come subscribe. We're going to do another giveaway at 25,000, even though we haven't done the 10,000 yet, which will be Tuesday. Maybe I'll live stream the giveaway. I think maybe that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do a live stream for the giveaway. So I'll have to get everything loaded in Excel, and we'll do a couple random things. So thanks for everybody for being here. And once again, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.